We'll be reading one of my favorite books, The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and we're going to start where we left off at. So, page 45. There surged in her to desire to heed, but as always, she knew she would not. Please, God, she whispered into the palm of her hand. Please make me disappear. She squeezed her eyes shut. Little parts of her body faded away. Now slowly, now with the rush, slowly in. Her fingers went one by one. Then her arms disappeared all the way to the elbow. Her feet now, yes, that was good. The legs all at once. It was hardest above the thighs. She had to be real still and pull. Her stomach would not go, but finally, too, it went away. Then her chest, her neck, that face was hard too. Almost done. Almost. Only her tight eyes were left. They were always left. Try as she might, she could never get her eyes to disappear. So, what was the point? They were everything. Everything was there. In them. All of those pictures, all of those faces. She had long ago given up the idea of running away to see new pictures, new faces, as Sammy had so often done. He never took her, and he never thought about his going ahead of time, so it was never planned. It wouldn't have worked anyway. As long as she looked the way she did, as long as she was ugly, she would have to stay with these people. Somehow, she belonged to them. Long hours, she sat looking in the mirror, trying to discover the secret of the ugliness. The ugliness that made her ignored or despised at school by teachers and classmates alike. She was the only member of her class who sat alone at a double desk. The first letter of her last name forced her to sit in the front of the room, always. But what about Mary App? Mary was in front of her, but she shared a desk with Luke Angelino. Her teachers had always treated her this way. They tried never to glance at her and called on her only when everyone was required to respond. She also knew that when one of the girls at school wanted to be particularly insulting to a boy or wanted to get an immediate response from him, she could say, Bobby loves Picola Breelove. Bobby loves Picola Breelove. And never failed to get peals of laughter from those in earshot and mock anger from the accused. It had occurred to Picola some time ago that if her eyes, those eyes had held the pictures and knew the sights, if those eyes of hers were different, that is to say, beautiful, she herself would be different. Her teeth were good, and at least her nose was not big and flat, like some of those who thought they were cute. If she looked different, beautiful, maybe Charlie would be different, and Miss Breelove too. Maybe they say, why look at pretty-eyed Picola? We mustn't do bad things in front of those pretty eyes. Pretty eyes, pretty blue eyes. Big blue, pretty eyes. Run Jib runs. Alice runs. Alice has blue eyes. Jerry has blue eyes. Jerry runs. Alice runs. They run with their blue eyes. 4 blue eyes. 4 pretty blue eyes. Blue sky eyes. Blue like Miss Forrest's blue blouse eyes. Morning Glory blue eyes. Alice and Jerry blue storybook eyes. Each night, without fail, she prayed for blue eyes. Fervently. For a year she had prayed. Although somewhat discouraged, she was not without hope. To have something as wonderful as that happen would take a long, long time. Thrown in his way into the binding conviction that only a miracle could relieve her. She would never know her beauty. She would see only what there was to see, the eyes of other people. She walks down Garden Avenue to a small grocery store which sells penny candy. 3 pennies are in a shoe, slipping back and forth between the sock and the inner sole. With each step, she feels the painful press of the coins against her foot, a sweet, endurable, even cherished irritation, full of promise and delicate security. There is plenty of time to consider what to buy. Now, however, she moves down an avenue gently buffered by the familiar and therefore loved images. The dandelions at the base of the telephone pole. Why so wonders? Do people call them weeds? She thought they were pretty, but Grumps say Miss Daniel keeps her yard so nice. Not a dandelion anywhere. Hunky women in black go into the fields with baskets to pull them up. But they do not want the yellowheads, only jagged leaves. They make dandelion soup, dandelion wine. Nobody loves the head of a dandelion. Maybe because they are so many, strong, and soon. There was the sidewalk, crack shaped like a Y, and the other one that lifted the concrete up from the dirt floor. Frequently, her slowing step had made her trip over that one. Skates would go well over the sidewalk, old as well, and smooth. It made the wheels glide evenly with a mild whir. The newly paved walks were bumpy and uncomfortable, and the sound of skate wheels on new walks was gravitating. These and other intimate things she saw and experienced, they were real to her. She knew them. They were the codes and touchstones of the world, capable of translation and possession. She owned the crack that made her stumble. I appreciate y'all time. I'm gonna stop right there at page 48, and today or later or tomorrow, I'll be starting from there. This was the Blue Side by Toni Morrison. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, share, all that. Thank you for y'all time. I appreciate it. Enjoy y'all weekend. Keep thriving. We global.